and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Though the war ended in 1865, there were sections of the land where passions were still flaming in 74. And Wyatt Earp, as Marshal of Ellsworth, Kansas, finds himself embroiled with cowmen of strong views about that war.
Oh, Marshal Earp! Marshal Earp!
Here, wait a minute.
You stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
This has done to her. Hold it! I'll shoot the next man that moves. You're all under arrest. The law says you gotta check your guns, and you all know that. Mike, take the guns and start into jail.
All right, everybody put their guns on the table here.
Move. Move!
Oh, I'm much obliged to you, Mr. Earp. 5 minutes more and they wouldn't have left me anything.
They'll have to pay for it, Mrs. Danaher.
You go on and help Mike take him to jail.
Yes, let's go.
A sherry, Mr. Larson. I know you don't drink, Marshal, but a bit of wine would calm my Irish temper.
What started all the trouble, man?
They're still fighting the war between the states. All those cowhands were Southern men. They wanted me to move General Lee from my parlor in here.
General Lee?
Oh, a picture of him.
Oh.
They called her a traitor.
You better clean up.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't understand it, Mr. Earp. My dear departed husband was a Confederate veteran. He died last year, God rest him. Len wanted to forget the war. So do I.
Well, ma'am, folks aren't all that sensible.
But these men that drive the cattle up from the south, they still carry the stars and bars. Why is that?
Well, some of our Yankee politicians weren't good winners. They rubbed it in everywhere they knew how. Give a cowhand a pint of whiskey and, well, he starts remembering his grievances.
But am I the one to pay on that account, Mr. Earp?
No, ma'am. I'll collect the damages for you. Mr. Lyson?
Yes, sir?
How much do you think it'll cost to put this place back into order?
Oh, 2,000 or 3,000.
3,000, huh?
Oh, don't be asking a Swede. 1,500 is the Irish of it.
Mrs. Danaher, this is business.
1,500, Mr. Earp.
I'll see that you get it. I'll have a talk with Judge Miller.
Lord love you, Mr. Earp.
Good day, ma'am.
All right, men, stand up. Judge Miller.
Take your hats off.
You men are charged with drunkenness and malicious destruction of property. I suppose that's your idea of fun, wrecking a poor widow's only inheritance.
Now, just a minute, Judge. We got something to say here about this.
Order in the court. Marshal Earp, what's your recommendation here?
Well, I think between them they ought to be fined $1,500. Stay in jail until they pay it.
Oh, sure. That's Yankee justice, Judge.
Order. The court finds you $1,500 pro rata. You'll be held in jail until payment. Deputy Teague, remove the prisoners.
All right, man, this way. Come on.
Marshal Earp. This is Marsh Murdoch, a newspaper man from Wichita. We've been friends for a long time.
Oh, Mr. Murdoch.
Glad to know you, Mr. Earp. I came here on business.
Mighty important business for you, Wyatt. It's such an opportunity that I can't stand in your way. I'll see you later, Marsh. And I hope he turns you down.
I hope not, Ed. Miller seems to think you're going to be the best marshal in the West.
Well, Ed's my friend.
Your friend, but also a newspaper man. We learned to size up men pretty well. I'll come to the point. How would you like to be Marshal of Wichita?
Wichita? That's a mighty big job.
Too big?
Well, I don't know. Wichita ranks with Dodge City for size and trouble.
It'll be worse when the railhead moves in. laying all my cards on the table.
How'd you happen to hear about me?
You're better known than your modesty allows you to think. But what really brought me here on the run was a chance remark in Ed's last letter.
Oh?
He said you know how to handle southern cowhands.
Well, I have had to make quite a study of them, but Mr. Murdoch, I always think better when I'm walking. Would you mind getting loose, son?
Not at all. Good idea. You know, getting along with Southerners is our big problem, Mr. Earp. Bill Hickok let some Texas men run it over him last week and had to quit. And with Sheriff Smith retired, we have to start all over.
Well, I heard that Hickok's a mite too quick on the trigger.
Wild Bill didn't have the intelligence to reason with cowhands. He shot him.
Well, they take a lot of patience. I can't say I'm any too well liked by them.
No northern peace officer is going to be liked. The best he can do is convince the Johnny Rebs that he means to be just and fair.
Well, that and understanding their pride.
Pride?
Yeah, it seems to me that's the key to it. Just about all the war left him was their pride.
That's true.
You've heard folks speak of it as a foolish pride, but, well, I've never held for that. See, I got two brothers that fought for the North. They tell me the Southerners have every right to be proud. They fought real well.
They sure did.
When I took this job here, I made up my mind I'd never shoot a cowhand if there was any other way out of it.
You mean there are other ways?
Well, I hit him with my fists a little, or buffalo him over the head with my gun barrel. It's a lot more effective than shooting him.
You take an awful risk, though.
Well, you buffalo a cowhand, and all he has is a headache. But if you shoot him, a lot of fellas can say to themselves it wasn't a fair fight, and then they lay for you.
Well, you're right. What happens if the cowhands decide to stay in jail? Who's going to pay for that work?
Well, then we'll all chip in. But I think they'll pay for it.
What makes you so sure?
Well, a cowhand hates to spend much time in jail. It hurts their pride.
What happens if they can't raise the $1,500?
Well, then their bosses will pay for it. Hurts their pride, too.
Pride? I never thought of the cowhand problem in just that way. You're the man for the job in Wichita. We can pay you $250 a month. Nominally, you'll serve under the new Sheriff Todd. But you'll be in charge of law enforcement. Well, what do you say?
Well, that Masterson will want to come with me, but he's going to have to go to school. Ed Miller isn't too happy about my leaving.
No, but he realizes with the railhead moving on to Wichita, this town will change from a cowhand whoop-de-doo to a normal community.
Well,
You Wyatt Earp?
that's right.
Where's Judge Miller?
Who are you?
Rams is the name. Kirby Rams. You got some of my men in jail. We want to talk to you and the judge in private.
All right. First, you ride over to the jail and check your guns with my deputy.
I think not, sir. How's that for Yankee impudence?
There's nothing Yankee or impudent about it, Mr. Ramsey. It's a city ordinance.
Why, of all things, aren't you Captain Ramser?
Madam?
You wouldn't be remembering me. I'm Mary Donaher, Len's wife.
Oh, yes. Running this tavern, I believe.
I was, Captain. But a bunch of pesky cowhands just about put me out of business this morning.
Heard about that. Turned Yankee lover, didn't you?
Why, Captain, you and my husband were great friends. You were his captain. Well, you know I wouldn't... It's very welcome you are. You and your friend. I'd like down and...
Oh, thank you. Good day, madam.
Hold it.
I meant what I said about the guns.
All right. Find Judge Miller. We haven't any time to waste.
I'll be apologizing for the captain, Mr. Earp. He never used to be like that.
It's the captain that should apologize to you, man. Well, I gotta go find Ed Miller, see what this is all about. Excuse me.
There's a limit to our patience, Miller. This town's lived off us Southerners, lived well. And in return, you all hired this fellow Earp here as marshal. And you did it knowing that he hates all Southern men.
Quite to the contrary. Wyatt Earp is...
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to tell you.
Oh?
We want those cowhands released. And no nonsense about $1,500 fine. The Danaher woman got just what she deserved for turning Yankee.
That's a stupid lie.
What did you say?
I called you a stupid liar. Now, Wyatt.
You made us check our guns. Now understand why.
Gentlemen. Don't call him a gentleman. He's a liar and a fool.
Why, you...
I'll tell the judge what you really want.
We want you fired. We'll give you just 6 hours to get out of town. You want to hear the rest of it?
I do not.
Well, you'll hear it anyway. If Earp here hasn't left Ellsworth by 5 o'clock this afternoon, we'll run him out. And if we have to do that, we'll burn this town to the ground. All of it.
You cross our city limits and there'll be a fight.
Get rid of Earp by 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The Civil War all over again. Oh, maybe not, Ed. Ramser wasn't bluffing. No. But how many gunfighters can he raise? You know anything about the captain? He's a hot-headed professional Southerner. He owns a big cattle spread in North Texas. He can hire plenty of gunfighters in the camps. Well, shall I let him run me out of town? This is serious, Wyatt. We'll need to arm at least 100 men. Get the women and children to safety.
Hold on, Ed. You may be overestimating the captain. Now, there must be another way to handle him. Is that the picture that caused all the trouble?
General Lee, God rest him.
Was he really better than President Grant?
Well, if he'd have had the same number of men and equal equipment, he'd elect us.
Why, Mr. Earp, you admit it.
Well, it's just my personal opinion, ma'am. I'm not a military expert. But going way down to the line to Captain Ramser, what do you know about him, Mrs. Danaher?
Well, you can tell us, Mrs. Danaher.
Ramser's given me until 5 o'clock to leave town. If I don't, he says he's going to run me out and burn Ellsworth.
Joking you are.
Nope.
And it's all true. And a plague on that man. Him that was me own Len's captain and a great gentleman. He loves the South. It's more hate than love, Mr. Earp.
You think he's a fanatic?
Daft. Poor, wicked man. A great worshipper of General Lee. Yet he doesn't know the General was always praying that the North and South would live together like brothers, to forgive each other for what's past. I'll bet that Ramser doesn't even know the date of General Lee's birthday, or even his middle name.
Let's see. Robert Edward Lee, born January 19th, 1807. Have I got it right?
Go devil and come St. Patrick. You certainly have. Is there anything you don't know, Mr. Earp?
Well, Lee just happens to be one of my heroes. But I don't know much about Ramser. You think he was bluffing?
Was he cold sober when he threatened you?
Hmm.
Then he'll be after trying it, Mr. Earp. And don't take him lightly.
Well, what kind of a following could he have?
A few friends and a lot of money.
There's hundreds of Southern men in the cattle camps right now.
Yeah. Mr. Masterson, I got a job for you.
Yes, sir.
I want you to take your horse and scout the camps. See if you can pick up a line on Ramser in a couple of hours.
Oh, but Mr. Earp, if they catch him spying, he might get hurt.
Don't worry, they won't catch me. Mr. Earp's learning me to be a marshal.
Teaching me. When we get you into school, they'll pound the difference into you. Now, there are 2 things I want to know quick. Is Ramser coming at 5 o'clock, and with how many men?
Yes, sir, I'll find out.
Mr. Earp, a strong sense of justice has bedeviled us Irish from the start. Why should you, who've refused to gun so many cowhands, be put among their enemy?
Well, it is kind of mixed up, isn't it?
Oh, it truly is. You being the kind of man you are, Ramser can't chase you out of town. And yet if you stay, there'll be a bloody battle. And that none of your making.
Well, maybe Ramser will change his mind.
Would you approve of my driving out to the camps? I'd have no influence on Ramser, but I do know a lot of cowhands.
Ma'am, it's good of you to offer, but no.
You'll hide behind no woman's skirt.
Well, I'm not wounded and down to my last cartridge yet.
too bad. It was a silly whim of mine. Think nothing of it. I'll go count my liquor bottles.
Number 8, that's birdshot.
That's right.
What's the idea, Wyatt? We ought to use buckshot or slugs.
Well, I haven't heard from Bat. Ramser was coming in for us. We'd have heard talk in the nearest camp.
So?
Well, either he's not coming at all, or he'll make some fanatical Johnny Reb move with just a few men.
Well, you haven't been wrong yet.
Of course, we could always meet Ramser with a posse, Ed.
I heard about that posse ride to Bushwhacker, Ed.
This time I could be right.
Yes, you could. But if Ramser's coming with a small army, we haven't got enough to fight. If he's only going to come with a few men, then we can discourage him with some birdshot.
I still say Ramser needs a double dose of buckshot.
What do you think, Mr. Murdoch?
I'm afraid I must agree with Mr. Earp. Killing Ramser might bring the whole Southern Army down on you.
Thank you. Oh, just one more thing, you all Yankees. Be careful not to hit the horses. I never did meet a horse yet that cared a whinny about the Mason-Dixon line.
I found this tacked onto the crossroads sign down at the corners.
Miller, tell Earp I'm giving him until 6 a.m. tomorrow to leave town. Kirby Ramser.
Just a bragging faker.
He talked too much for a real Johnny Reb. The real one's just come a-shooting.
I don't know. Might have taken him longer than he figured to get his crowd together. Well, Bat should have been back here by now. I don't like it.
You think Ramser might come in this morning?
Well, Bat can tell us that. If they haven't caught him.
Almost 5 hours of waiting. Afraid something happened to that boy.
What's going to happen at sunup? Hope he can handle these cowhands.
Well, we've armed about 50 men.
Earp can't ask you to risk a whole town for him.
He won't run. If he did that, it'd be no use to you in Wichita.
Or anywhere else as a law officer. I like Earp. Hate to see him lose his big chance in Wichita. Lose his reputation or his life. And through no fault of his own.
Why must you hurt so? Bat's a smart, handy lad. He'll take care of himself.
Mrs. Donaher, I sent him out there.
They say a woman's lot is hard. But a woman can weep and be no smaller for it. A woman can have fear and run, and it's expected of her. But you men, must you be held by courage till it's the death of you?
I'm going to go out and...
Oh, God, no, heavens, no.
Mr. Earp,
Mr. Masters.
you all right? A couple of Ramser's men caught me spying on him. I found out what you wanted to know, sir. Ramser's coming at sunup. He's hired all the top guns. We'll have to fight him with every man we can get.
I'll get my medicines.
He's coming with Manor Clements, John Wesley Hardin, Curly Bill, Ringo, and the Clairvoyants.
All right, just rest yourself. Don't talk anymore. Put your feet up. Ed, I want you to call off the fight.
You're leaving town?
Ramser wants me. It's my fight, not yours.
I know Clements and Hardin and the rest of them.
Are you planning to let them shoot you down?
No. Tomorrow's going to be General Lee's birthday. We're going to make it his birthday.
We are?
You think they'll respect that?
I don't know, but it's my only chance. Give me a break, Ed. Call off the fight and keep everybody out of it.
All right, Wyatt. Come along, Marsh. We'll pass the word.
Well, good luck to General Lee. And you.
Thank you.
I have some arnica and a towel and...
He's asleep. Go get me some hot water.
Captain.
What is this?
You can read. It's the General's birthday.
I know that. But why would a blue-bellied Yank town in Kansas remember it?
Well, the General belongs to all of us, sir.
This is a trick. You're trying to hide behind General Lee. Talk us out of what we came here for.
No, Mr. Ramser, I decided to make my fight here. And I thought that about 6 of you might like to pay your last respects to him.
What's holding us up?
Quiet back there. It's the General's birthday.
Whose birthday?
Lee, Robert E. Lee. You men will show your respect. And you'll show your respect.
Well, I'm always willing to do that, Captain. But I don't think the General would want my regard for him to put me at a disadvantage.
Your regard is an insult, sir.
Well, I didn't choose his birthday to bring in a bunch of hired killers to gun one man and wreck a defenseless town.
I thought Master Robert was born in October.
What's that all about?
They ain't sure this is his birthday, Captain.
The idiots. They think I don't know the date. They'll respect his memory. In review, forward! Ho!
I'll move away from the General's picture. Now it's a fair fight, the way he'd want it.
Commencing to learn something about Wyatt Earp?
I think so. The Wichita job is yours, Wyatt, and on your terms.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. I can accept it now with a clear conscience. I don't think you'll have any more trouble, Ed. But if you want me to, I'll stay.
No, Wichita is too big an opportunity for you, Wyatt. I think you should accept it. $1,500 from Ramser to Mrs. Danaher.
Well, thank you. I'll take it on over to her. I'll see you both later.
Right.
Is that straight now?
Good and straight, just like him.
Mr. Earp, sir.
Yes, Mr. Masters.
How long do I have to stay in that school?
Till you learn the date of General Lee's birthday?
Well, I already know that. January...
19th, 1807.
That's it. Those ignorant Johnny Rebs.
Mr. Masterson, don't ever call them ignorant. No, they knew the main fact, that they loved General Lee. They were wise men.
God bless them all. You know we're going to miss you around here, Mr. Earp.
Thank you.
Won't you change your mind about Wichita and let me go with you?
Nope.
Why not?
Look, you want to be a marshal someday?
Sure.
Well, then you're going to have to go to school in Topeka. The first date I want you to learn and always remember is General Lee's birthday.
January 19th, 1807.
That's right. Remembering dates comes in mighty handy sometimes.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be